I've come up to Bramber Castle today. Sort of do a quick video. So this castle was founded by William de Broils in about 1073. Deep ditches protect the castle, and there is a mound or motte at its centre. Parts of a stone keep that was built on top of an earlier gateway also remain. The castle was in ruins by the 16th century. Let's go and have a look at it. There's a really lovely church here as well, so I'll have a look at that in a while. And there's another church. I can't remember the name of the person on the way in. I saw it, St. Bartolo, something like that. I'm going to have a look when I get back. But that sounded very interesting. I've never heard of them. The size of that. It's sitting there all on its own. What on earth happened to the rest of it? Anyway, I haven't got much of a clue about the castle itself. All I know is that the Templars were here. This was a big Templar stronghold of some sort, but really don't know an awful lot. But I just thought I'd come and have a look. There's one impressive wall. Oh wow, look, bit of an archway still up there. Hopefully there'll be a sign or two that will let me know. It's lovely. So here we go. The first castle at Bramber, built by 1073, was a motte and bailey design. An artificial mound, probably topped with a wooden tower. So just over there, I think, is this little higher area. Oh, so it was quite a bit more of the ruin still around back in the past. And that's all been destroyed now, sadly. Wow, quite a lot of it disappeared. I don't know why on earth that happened. It's nothing to do with the Templars. But I'll look up this guy later. I guarantee you he'll have something to do with him. Philip de Broils. There's a preceptory they had in Selborne. I think they had something to do with Shipley as well, which is near here. So I might have a look there. And I think again, the river's somewhere near here, and it flooded right the way towards here. Some kind of old cool room of some sort. Obviously once had a roof of some sort, you'd think. I wonder who was wandering about in here. I always think that whenever I'm in these places, I just think of the people in the past that were walking around. Who they might have been, what they might have been doing, what they might have been dressed like. It's so interesting for me, sort of that living in me. Oh, look at that cool stone archway. It would have been, I suppose. You know, what was this? Who knows? Whatever it was, it had a nice view, and man, this is really well fortified. This is very steep going down there. I always think whenever you're looking at something on a camera, it never does it justice. That's steep. Trust me, that's steep. I wonder if the river is down there. I bet that was entirely flooded. That whole plain, and again, I bet you could get ships right into here. Thus it being so important, and it isn't now, or kind of fell out of use by the 1900s. Well, 1650 apparently on the information here. You couldn't get boats in here after that time. I couldn't go up here because I seem to be following some guy around. Pushing him off of the signs. There's a banging old yew tree. Cool. That must have been a big one before the side piece came off. That must have been split. Jeez, and that looks heavy there, doesn't it? Hopefully that survives for a long while longer. I suppose like I keep saying, even if it doesn't, another one will sprout up exactly where that was. So here we are. At the top of the mound, which I suppose would have had the fort on it. Or at least some sort of defensive position. Whenever you come to these cool old places, there's always a fire. There's a nice feather there as well. I love that. But there is always a fire up here. Somebody, loads of other people obviously, feel like these are good places to come and light a little spiritual fire. Oh wow, look at that yew tree. Oh, that's an old one. And a beauty. God. Alright. Not a lot to see up here. See if I can find a sign and head off. It's just a whole load of stuff about the de Barros family. Something that was interesting was, for me, King Edward, 1272 to 1307, so that's the date that the Templars were persecuted and fled from France. That was King Philip, who persecuted them, got them out of France, and then I think they all fled over here. And then were kind of adopted by the Hospitallers. I kind of think they were pretty much the same people, just with different uniforms, as we see pretty much in politics today. Right, I've just seen the river over there, look. So there it is, winding along down there, which almost guarantees to me that that whole plain down there would have been flooded again. And you could have got boats in here. I bet there's a record of that somewhere. I'll see if I can dig it out and add it on. Again, another example of the tidal sea levels receding during the Little Ice Age. Oh wow, that's a good old drop off. They did a good job of defending the stuff around here, building good defences. But yeah, Godefroy de Saint-Omer and Hugh de Payam were the first Templar knights. They're the ones that you see on the horse together, the poor knights of Christ they were called, and then they started receiving donations from pilgrims going off to the Holy Land, who were getting attacked on the trail by Saracens and assassins, and so they ended up receiving tons and tons and tons of money from people until they got themselves established on Temple Mount. And then on Temple Mount they started digging. Apparently, this is one of the stories. Just going to see this yew tree. And from there, people suspect that they found Solomon's treasure and the Ark of the Covenant. And I do too. I really do think that they found it over there and then brought it back to France initially. And then during the persecution of them, they fled France and came to England, and they dumped the treasures off at Hamsey. And they had all of these places along the south coast, which nobody seems to know about or talk about the fact that they were here. And interesting, not a single mention on a single sign here. You'd think that would be kind of, other than that 1307 date, but that has nothing to do with the Templars on that sign. It's just in relation to Edward. But yeah, it is strange that all of these Templar links are missed. I bet most people in the world don't even know that Sussex had Templars in so many places around here, or that they were linked to it, or Henry II was in Lewis. It's incredible the amount of stuff people are just completely unaware of when they are so clued up on other parts of history, but not here. So I suppose that's part of what I'm trying to do, is get people to know, even if it just plants a tiny seed of new knowledge into someone's head. It'll lead somewhere eventually. Cool root system. Wrapped around a bit of the old wall. That's a beach. I'm not sure. Got a friend who's home alley. Excellent defences. I wonder if that was an actual moat or just a ditch. Probably just a moat. I think it's a bit too high up even for the old sea levels to have come around there. It's a cool piece of old stonework. You've got to think that must have been a massive castle. Tower, huge. This is consecrated ground. Please respect it and keep dogs on the path and on the lead. Consecrated. Well, let's see if I have any more spooky experiences. I certainly didn't over at the ruins over there. Absolutely nothing. Like I did over at the other castle last week. This is a lovely ground though. Strange that this survived and the castle didn't. Same age, I think. It's nice to see these churches open again. It wasn't great. But I wonder how many Templars were in here. I have to find out the date. Make sure that this was here at that time. Yeah. So that same design there, I think it's much like that one. Where is it? That one. I'll show you. It's obviously been quite a popular design, but that's also over at Hamsey Church and the piece of stained glass window on the bit that I keep going on about. It's interesting because you've also got the rose in the middle. I wonder if that has something to do with Rosicrucianism, Christian Rosenkrantz. I don't know if you know about any of that. It's a complicated subject. Just gonna go for a walk around the graveyard. Seems we're doing this weekly at the moment. Celtic crosses, probably more than the other ones actually. Nicer to look at, by the way. Huh, that's a good view. I wonder whose footsteps I've been walking in today. That's a nice gravestone. Oh, that's George. George something or other. Trying to think of all these bodies just under the ground there. Always think it's strange and bother me, but it's just odd, isn't it? 6 feet down, there's a ton of bodies just lying there rotting away in boxes. Weird thing. What a weird thing. So I'm just back in my car. I just finished at Bramber Castle. It was pretty interesting. quite a cool place to come for a picnic or something, but it's fairly underwhelming in comparison to Pevensey Castle, which is quite an impressive, really building and atmosphere, and the church overlooks it.